So you told me that you want a divorce.
Yeah.
After 7 years of marriage, what brought you to that conclusion? 7 years and 3 kids.
I don't know, I just didn't feel like we had a way to make it work. I've always felt like I loved you, and I didn't want to be with anybody else, but I guess, you know, just kind of the pressure of feeling inadequate, I guess, as a husband, as a father. I wanted out of that feeling. I know that wasn't life, you know, feeling down about yourself, down about your whole purpose and existence on this planet. And I didn't feel like you deserved that.
So you would leave me with 3 kids because I don't deserve somebody who feels inadequate?
Well, I wouldn't have left you, not with 3 kids. You know, I still play my part as a father, so you wouldn't be alone. I never just abandon you. You know, make sure that, you know, you're taken care of in every way I possibly can. I don't know, I just wanted freedom from that negative emotion, and I didn't know how we could get beyond that.
So are you saying that I was making you feel inadequate?
Yeah, but I don't think you meant to. I think that you kind of wear your emotions on your sleeve. You know, when you get stressed out and you having a bad day, I felt like you kind of lash out at everybody. And at the end of the day, I knew that's what it was. I always knew that it was just you lashing out, but it's just, I couldn't figure out how to get us beyond that. Beyond just us lashing out at each other and then me just saying, okay, I understand. I know she's home with the kids. I know that she's not able to do much. And just me processing like, I understand, and then a split second, like, I don't understand. Like, you know, I don't get it. Why are you so unhappy? Why do you come at me this way? Why do you talk to me so disrespectfully? And it was just that split moment where I would lash out, and then you would respond to that negativity, and then I would respond to your negativity. And it just like escalated, like to the point where, you know, we would embarrass ourselves. In my opinion, we would see our kids play together and they'd be acting as, you know, us, but they would be acting in the us that really wasn't us. It was just the way we were in that moment. Mm-hmm. And that's embarrassing, you know, when it starts affecting your job and the people you work around. And it's like, when I'm passing up shoots, because it's like we don't get along, you know, how do I explain that to people? Like, oh, I know you had this important thing for me to film or whatever, but me and my wife not getting along, so I can't make it, you know. It's kind of embarrassing.
When does that really happen?
So it was times where, especially like when I was working for that other wedding company where the shoots would run late, and then we would have discussions about, you know, me not shooting it when I felt like we needed the money. It wasn't necessarily about who I was going to be around, what time I was going to be shooting. It was just like, I have to pay bills, you know.
You don't think certain things played a factor in that, like the way that you acted and the fact that I was on bed rest because I could lose the child at any moment, anything could happen, which we soon found out that a lot happened. I ended up with high blood pressure, pre-eclampsia in the hospital, didn't know if I was going to make it, and you wanted to go out, and I understand you were making money, but it was going to be until 2 o'clock in the morning. And so that would be a lot on my body being pregnant. My doctor basically told me, get up, go to the restroom, get something to eat, get back in the bed. It's a lot with a 2 and a 3-year-old. It was really hard on my body. And then you told me you would go stay at your dad's house if you couldn't go do that shoot. And then when I got really upset and started crying, you told me you were just kidding. So then I started wondering, like, what do you really think about me to play with my emotions in that way?
I don't think I said I was just kidding.
You did. You said, I'm not going to go to that shoot. You said that.
No. So the conversation was, I was asking you, do you mind if I go? But your response was, no, because you didn't want me going out late. So if it was like, I'm not asking you for your permission as far as like, if you don't give me a certain answer, then it's just like nonchalant. It's just like that if I'm asking you a question and I don't feel like your answer is a legitimate answer, or I have a rebuttal to that answer, I'll respond to that. It's not that I don't respect your opinion.
So why even ask?
because the way it was worded at that particular time trickled back to trust for me. You know, so if it was just because you didn't want me out to 2 o'clock in the morning because you didn't know where I'd be or who I'd be with, I don't feel like that's a legitimate response, not at this stage in our relationship, because I've never cheated on you. I never will.
I really don't believe you've ever cheated, but some of the things you say are very disrespectful.
Like what?
When you talked about the girl with her butt in the air when she was, I understand she was working, she was doing her job, she was trying to get a camera angle, but your response in front of your wife. Now, had you been with your guy friends and y'all said something, then they would still be disrespectful, but I wouldn't know about it.
See, and that's the thing that would frustrate me, because while I respect your opinion that you felt like it was disrespectful, that was a moment
That's not an opinion.
That was a moment of us bonding. I said that to you because you're my wife, and I felt like by me saying,
look at that guy with his big package, his big penis.
I think I would laugh at that.
That's not bonding. That's not.
I think I would laugh at that. The fact that you feel comfortable, like if you say, but like it was a guy that was
big.
No, there was a guy when we was driving in Katy. I remember
the white guy jogging.
A white guy jogging, and you said something about that guy looking good, and I laughed. That was a bonding moment to me. Like
that wasn't me focusing on his penis. That was just
why does that make a difference? It's
because you were focusing on her butt.
It's still, you still recognizing the fact he had on his shirt was off. So obviously men don't have breasts or anything of that manner, but that's still sexual for a woman to see a man jogging down the street with no shirt on and a six pack. And you say he
had
was
he
good.
Been jogging and I said, look at his big penis.
I think
while he's jogging, that's totally different. I would have never said that because I felt like that would have disrespected you, and it just wouldn't have happened.
We just had two different opinions on that matter. I don't think I would have been disrespected. I think if something, I don't know what type of environment we could be in, whatever happened, but something happened where you obviously seen a big man's big old thing slinging in front of you, and I know I saw it. I'm a dude. I'm not attracted to him, but I saw it. I would just be like, okay, well, yeah, I would acknowledge your point.
Again, that wouldn't be somebody that I worked with. Had I worked with and I had a specific work relationship with them and have to be around them, and maybe me and him could flirt, you never know because you would never be there.
So again, that goes back to trust, because you felt like I worked around this person. Somehow that made it different because I could possibly actually have a relationship with this person.
And you guys text late and you guys sent emojis, and I asked you not to send emojis.
And you saw all that stuff. It was all work stuff.
You don't have to send emojis for work.
I send emojis to my pastor. He's a dude. It's just.
But I asked you not.
It's
to
not
send
like
them to
heart,
her.
like I love you emojis. It's laughing faces. It's
I asked
straight
you not
faces.
to send them to her specifically, especially after you said what you said.
Why?
Especially after you said what you said.
But why?
I've explained that.
Because you don't trust me.
Because you say off the wall stuff.
Like what?
We just
that wasn't
about it.
But again, when you said it in that same instance, it didn't go back to trust for me. I trust you. I knew that you wasn't gonna hop out the car and go chase the guy that was jogging and say, "Let me get your number."
His penis, of course.
I wouldn't take it that way. I don't see you as that type of person to see a man's big old penis, 9-inch, 10-inch, 11-inch penis.
And you don't see me as that type of person to even say anything about it.
If you
because
did,
I feel like it's disrespectful. I wouldn't want you to do it to me.
I'm just saying hypothetically.
Anything that I don't do to you is because I would not like for you to do it to me, but you continually do it. You continue to do it.
But you see how that can be causing miscommunication. If I'm treating you...
If I went around talking about guys' penises, I feel like eventually you'll be like, whoa,
let me explain.
Wait a minute.
You're treating me how you want to be treated, correct?
Correct.
I'm treating you how I want to be treated. But if we...
So you would like me to talk about guys? Okay.
I want you to be honest and open. If you think a guy is good looking, I'm not going to expect you to suppress it. I'm not saying he's good looking. If you feel like saying it, I want to
specifically talk about that area. And I think eventually you'll feel some type of way. Okay.
I'm just not that person. I see you as, you were supposed to be best friend. And the same way I can call my best guy friends. Mm-hmm. Anything that I say to him, I should be able to say to you.
You still respect each other.
On the level that we don't say nothing mean to each other.
Or disrespectful. If you know I feel disrespected by it, why would you continue to do it?
I didn't know. I promise you, if I knew you was going to be disrespected, By me saying that, I would not have said it. And for that reason, I apologize to you, and I still apologize.
Okay.
I shouldn't have said it, but when I said it, I didn't know I couldn't say it until I said it, and hey, don't say that. And then it's just, I apologize, I won't say it again, and I haven't since. But at the end of the day, I don't want to hurt your feelings. I want us to have a relationship. I want us to be able to say whatever we want to each other,
Right, but it's still boundaries in marriage. And if I don't set them, you'll continue to do stuff and say, hey, I had no clue that you didn't like that.
That was a boundary set, and I haven't crossed it.
Okay.
What would you suggest when we have communication issues and we can't seem to resolve it?
To take time out and go our separate ways.
That was where my mind was. It wasn't because I didn't want to be with you. I didn't know what else to do.
Okay, I can accept that. I understand at this point I'm not supposed to be there, like where I am in my mindset now. I'm supposed to be in my mindset where I was then, but honestly my mind does not go to that place anymore. Like, let's just sit down and talk. It's not there.
What's not there?
That mindset. Like, hey, let's just sit down and communicate, because I really, really, really want this thing, and I don't.
Did we do that though?
Did we sit down and talk?
Yeah,
we tried the devotional, and some days we would just not be getting along so much that we didn't even do the devotional. It was kind of like we were roommates during pretty much most of my pregnancy, because you were trying to get the business off the ground, and I was going through the motions of trying to keep this baby in and trying to keep myself and the baby healthy.
I never not cared about that. It's tough as a man to find that balance of, okay, well, I need to not go to work today because obviously the most important thing, your health and the baby. But even when it's as simple as JETT has a basketball game, if I feel like I have to, if I miss work or I miss the opportunity to make money for even just one day, does that mean that our family has to sit in the dark for a whole week until I get another paycheck because I wanted to make JETT's game? It comes to the point where, and at the end of the day, as an adult, he might even appreciate that. You might appreciate that. But imagine how I feel as a man that my family is sitting in the dark for a moment, even if it's just a minute. But, sometimes we struggle for months, to know for that moment, for that period of time, I failed my family. And that's a tough decision to make, especially when me going to work, you still feel like I failed you. I wanted to be there. I never wanted you to go to the hospital alone. You should never have to go alone. But I did.
And that's the thing that I think I still hold a grudge about. And I had like an ounce of peace because somebody outside of this house saw what I was seeing. And people said it in the comments when they were like, he's selfish. All he talked about was the business. And I don't think you're a bad guy, but I think when you do something, you throw your whole self into it. And I
wasn't always like that. That I had to in order to.
You weren't always like that. That's what I'm saying.
And I've always struggled. I've always had confidence issues. I've always been subpar at everything that I do. And it's just for once, and I wouldn't even say for once, since I met you, I've had a desire for excellence. When you first met me, I didn't really, I wouldn't say I didn't care about God, but I definitely didn't have a relationship. I knew a lot about God because I had a lot of discussions with people. So I didn't like to be wrong. So whenever I would have a discussion with somebody, I'd go back and read the Bible for myself. But it was more like arguing against the Bible. Mm-hmm. So when I met you and I knew that's the standard that you had for me and yourself, I wanted to make you happy. So I actually thought about that the other day when I got baptized, and my whole plan was to ask you to marry me right after I got baptized. And it really just hit me why that didn't work out. because I got baptized for you, not for God. And that was the wrong reason. And God would have never honored that. And it took a lifetime of trying to please you that made me realize that it's not my job. You know, I want you to be happy, but at the end of the day, it's all a matter of perspective and your relationship with God as well. My job is to be your partner, to be here for you, and to be supportive of you. And a lot of ways I failed at. I know now my place, due to my relationship with God now, where I stand with Him. And because of that, I feel like I am more expressive of the decisions I make. And I realize that about me as well, that a lot of times I do something with good intention, but because I don't express it, it can come out very wrong. Like I don't care. And that's never been the case.
I think, I mean, I appreciate you saying all of that, and I really took it in. But sometimes I need you to like really think. I know you mean well, but I feel like that's kind of how I got in, like how my stress level was so high. Like I was at my breaking point the last time I went to the doctor by myself, and then I ended up having to deliver her. It's because you made a promise to me that if you quit your job and we were able to start this business, that you would really be there for me. You was like, you were really excited, and I think you meant well. And it just all hit me.
It did not pan out that well.
No. It hit me that day, and I think that's why my blood pressure went up so high. Because I was like, you're not here. I'm trying to call you. My mom wasn't there. And it was just like, everything started. You see when you got to the hospital, it was like blood all on the floor because the nurse kept sticking me. It was so much going on that day. And I mean, I know I keep talking about it because I feel like I hold so much resentment. Like it never would have happened if you were there. I don't know if it would have or not. Well, my stress level was so high. And I felt it kind of go down when you got there, and I saw how upset you were that it was blood everywhere. But I was like, I had to do all that stuff by myself. And even when she was in the NICU, I guess you had a shoot to do or something. Because I mean, I stayed in the hospital for a while, so I understood. But I was trying to, you know, my pressure would not go down because I was like, I had never had a baby taken to the NICU before. I never had an issue with blood pressure. And I knew in order to keep this house, you had to work. But I just wanted you to be there. I missed the kids. I didn't have my new baby with me. Nobody came to visit, I guess because the baby wasn't in the room. I remember they brought up a congratulations, it's a girl cake. And I just like stood over the table and cried.